One question I get asked in different forms is this: why are we in meetings all day and still behind? It usually comes from someone who is genuinely working hard, trying to keep everyone aligned, and still getting to the end of their day thinking, I've been talking about work all day, but I've barely had time to do the work. And if that sounds familiar, stay with me, because by the end of this episode, I'm going to give you a simple 7-part system that will completely change how your team uses meetings. That is the trap with meetings. They can create the feeling of progress without actual progress. People talk, they share updates, they raise issues, add context, and leave thinking it was useful. But if nothing was decided, clarified, owned, or changed, the meeting didn't actually move work forward. It just moved the conversation around. And there's one specific shift later in this episode that stops it happening immediately. The cost is not just the hour in the calendar, it's the decision that didn't get made. The action that did not get owned, the issue that comes back next week, the side conversations afterwards, the rework from people leaving with different versions of what was agreed. And if 8 people are in a 1-hour meeting, that's not a 1-hour meeting. That's 8 hours of people's time before you even count the preparation, the interruption, and the follow-up. So when someone says, we need fewer meetings, I understand the frustration. And sometimes that's true. But the better question is this: are these meetings actually doing their job? A meeting is a bit like a vehicle. A ute, a bus, a motorbike, a truck, they're all useful, but not for the same job. You wouldn't use a bus to move 1 envelope across town or a motorbike to move 20 people. The problem's not the vehicles. The problem is using the wrong vehicle for the wrong job. Meetings are the same. A weekly team meeting, a weekly one-on-one, a monthly one-on-one, a quarterly review, team offsite. They don't all do the same thing. When every meeting becomes this vehicle for every issue, the calendar just fills up, people become drained, and the work still doesn't move. Most people do not book meetings because they love wasting time. They're usually trying to create alignment, clarity, accountability, inclusion, fewer surprises, and better communication. The intention is good, the method becomes expensive. So the reframe is this: meetings are not the problem. Meetings that do not create clarity, ownership, or movement are the problem. A good meeting should move a decision, a blocker, a relationship, a project, a person's confidence, a shared understanding, or clear commitment. If it doesn't move anything, it's just a conversation taking up space in the calendar. And most teams don't realize that they're doing this until they fix just one of the rules I'm about to walk through. At Inject, we work with leaders and teams on management rhythm, communication, one-to-ones, performance conversations, team meetings, and practical leadership habits. And what I've noticed is that most meeting problems are caused by simple expectations not being set and simple disciplines not being managed consistently. So this is what I'll do. I'll treat meetings as a before, during, and after problem. Before the meeting determines whether it is worth having. During the meeting determines whether people leave clear. After the meeting determines whether the meeting actually moves. I suggest you use this episode as a 7-week meeting reset. If you only implement one of these properly, you'll feel the difference within a week. Don't try and implement everything at once. Each week, come back to one rule, apply that tool set to one recurring meeting, and then add the next layer. Week 1 saves time. Week 2 puts issues in the right place. Week 3 improves preparation. Week 4 improves the opening. Week 5 gives you steering, language. Week 6 builds real alignment. And week 7 turns discussion into owned commitments. All right, rule 1, take back control of your team's calendar. The first rule starts before the meeting exists. It starts with the week itself. A lot of teams lose time because the calendar quietly takes control. People accept invitations one by one, book around whatever is already there, and squeeze important work into the gaps. By Wednesday, everyone's asking, how did this week get away from us? The practical move is a weekly calendar audit. For example, every Monday at 9 a.m. can be any day of the week, but let's just say Monday 9 a.m., get the team in a room or on a call and plan the week at the same time. This is not really a meeting in the usual sense. It's a shared planning block to stop the week running the team. Everyone opens their calendar, looks at meetings, deadlines, client commitments, internal commitments, handovers, leave, focus time, pressure points, and bottlenecks. Then challenge the week while there is still time to change it. Ask, why are we all here? Should we all be here? Why am I in particular? Do I need to be there for the whole meeting or only part of it? Could I send my input beforehand? Could someone else attend and send me the outcome? If a meeting looks unclear, message the owner before it happens. Say, hey, just checking what you need me in this meeting for. Am I needed for the whole meeting? Would it help if I send my input beforehand? Is there a specific decision you need me involved with, or it would be enough just to review the notes afterwards? This is not about being challenging just for the sake of it. This is about respecting time. If someone is booking your time, it is reasonable to know what they need from you. That is the tool set for Rule 1. Weekly planning block, calendar scan, attendance challenge, and a simple message to clarify why you are needed. This rule comes first because it creates time. All right, Rule 2. Put the right issue in the right room. Once you've taken back control of the calendar, decide whether the remaining meetings are the right meetings. Choose the right vehicle before you load people into it. A weekly team meeting is for matters that require group input or one message relevant to many people. A weekly one-to-one is usually for priorities, goals, challenges, and blockers. A monthly one-to-one should be more about the person, their development, motivation, feedback, and how they're experiencing the role. A quarterly review is about performance, KPIs, and development planning. An offsite is for slower, deeper thinking away from the day-to-day. The problem is that one recurring meeting often becomes a dumping ground. The team meeting becomes a one-to-one in front of everyone. The one-to-one becomes a task list. The monthly development conversation gets hijacked by operational firefighting. Before adding something to an agenda, ask, where does this issue actually belong? Is it a team meeting item, a one-to-one item, a monthly development topic, a review item, an off-site topic, a phone call, an email, or something from the weekly planning block? You can say, that sounds important, but I don't think it needs a whole group. Let's take that into a one-to-one. Or this feels bigger than what we can solve in the last 10 minutes. Let's set up a separate working session. Or that update probably could have been sent beforehand. Let's use this meeting for the decision we need to make. This also applies to the invitation. If the invitation is vague, the meeting probably will be vague. A good invitation includes the purpose, outcome, agenda, timeframe, preparation required, whether the meeting is fast, medium, or slow, and where actions will be captured. For example, the purpose, decide whether we proceed with option A or B. Preparation, read the 2-page summary and come ready with your recommendation. Outcome, decision on preferred option and owner for the next step. Time, 30 minutes. Pace, medium working meeting, action log linked here. For recurring meetings, create a standard agenda, then set an ad hoc agenda item rule. Items need to be added by 3 p.m. the day before. When adding an item, state whether it is for information, discussion, or decision. Information, discussion, and decision are not the same. If you don't define them, people will arrive with different expectations. That is the tool set for Rule 2. Meeting map, invitation standard, standard agenda, ad hoc agenda rule, and fast, medium, or slow pace. Quick pause before we keep going. Leadership doesn't happen by accident. It's not a one-off event. It's an ongoing investment. So if leadership development matters to you, make it easy to keep it front of mind. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe and tap the bell, so every new episode comes straight to you. One less thing to chase, one more way to stay intentional about your growth. And if you believe better leadership should reach more people, then give this episode a like on YouTube or leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That simple action helps more leaders find the show and helps these ideas travel further than this conversation. And one more thing, if you want to share this episode with someone you know who's struggling with meeting overload, that could be a good idea too. All right, let's get back to it. Rule 3, prepare the thinking before people arrive. Once the right people are in the right meeting, improve the preparation. A lot of meetings waste time because people arrive and then only start thinking. They open the document for the first time, they skim while someone's talking, they ask basic questions and form a view while the meeting is already happening. That's not collaboration. That's using a room to do private thinking. The practical rule is if people need to read it, send it before. If people need to decide it, use the meeting. But pre-reading needs direction. Do not just attach the document. Say, please read pages 2 to 4 and come ready to recommend option A or B. Or please review the numbers and come ready to identify one risk we need to discuss. Or please update your action status before the meeting so we're not using the meeting time to work out where things are at. AI can help here. Use it to summarize previous notes, draft an agenda, identify unresolved actions, or turn a messy document into a clearer pre-read. But AI does not replace leadership judgment. You should still decide the outcome, who needs to attend, and what your expectation is that you're setting. Preparation also includes the basics. For an important online meeting, join 5 minutes early. Check your internet, audio, camera, screen share, and links. If the meeting matters, do not let the first 5 minutes become everyone watching you work out the technology. Prepare one visual as well. Ask, what is one thing I could show rather than explain? A workflow, a screenshot, a table, sketch, example. This can reduce confusion because words are often interpreted differently. Also prepare for the question that people may have but may not ask. If the agenda says discuss new process, people may be thinking, will this make my job harder? Are we a resource for this? Am I going to be blamed? Write down one unasked question and be ready to answer it. If you know one person is especially worried, answer the point to the group, but look at that person as you're saying it. You're not singling them out, you're just helping the answer land. This is the tool set for Rule 3. Directed pre-reading, AI-supported preparation, virtual readiness, one visual, and the unasked question. Rule 4. Set the frame in the first 60 seconds. Now we're inside the meeting. A lot of meetings can run away early. People join, there's general chat, someone raises an issue, someone else jumps in, and suddenly the meeting is 20 minutes deep into the wrong topic. It happened because no one set the frame. Does that still work for everyone? Is there anything else we need to cover off? We're scheduled 30 minutes for today's meeting. Are you still okay for that? Or perhaps another example for a group. Hi, everyone, thanks for joining. We're going to cover X, Y, and Z. We've got an hour. We might not need the full hour. Let's see how we go. I'd like to leave the last 5 minutes to confirm actions. Does anyone have any urgent we need to add before we start? Saying that we might not need the full hour tells people the goal is not to fill the time. The goal is to achieve the outcome. Confirming the time frame also gives you permission to manage time later. If someone adds a new topic at the start, say something like, that sounds important. Let me capture that and we'll prioritize it against what we already need to cover today. If you use an AI note taker, set the expectation early. We have an AI note taker to help with notes and actions. I'll still confirm decisions, owners, and due dates verbally before we finish, and everyone still needs to note down their own actions. The bot might capture words, it does not create accountability. That is a tool set for Rule 4. Report to agenda bridge, outcome, time confirmation, early finish expectation, agenda capture, and AI note taker expectation. Rule 5. Steer the conversation with the right sentence. Even good meetings drift. Someone goes into too much detail, two people start solving something that affects only them, someone raises an important but unrelated issue. Everyone can feel it, but no one wants to interrupt. Leaders often avoid steering because they do not want to be rude. But not steering is not kindness, it's avoidance. The meeting runs over, the agenda does not get finished, and people leave unclear. The practical skill is to steer with the right sentence. Use 5 conversation tools. A preface gives context. I'm going to ask this to help clarify what success actually looks like here. Permission helps you shift. Would it be useful if you moved from the problem into possible next steps? Placement shows where the conversation is up to. We've covered the first 2 items. We have 10 minutes left, so I'm going to move us to the decision we need to make. Paraphrasing checks understanding and buys time. So what I'm hearing is that the issue is not the timeline, it is the uncertainty around resourcing. Have I got that right? Open questions expand thinking. What would need to be true for this to work well? Then use silence after a good question. Don't rush to fill the space. Give people a few seconds to think. If the meeting drifts, use these sentences. So if someone's off track, sounds like what you're saying is X. This is an important topic and I want to give it the time it deserves. Perhaps if we set aside some time to go through it properly, we can finish what we need to get done for today. Would that work for you? If 2 people go off on a tangent, say something like, that sounds like something the 2 of you could expand on further and come back with your thoughts. Could I note that down as an action so we can keep moving through today's agenda? If someone goes straight into too much detail, say, okay, so what I understand is you're saying X. Would it be worthwhile if we noted Y as the action from here? I'm just mindful we have 10 minutes left and 2 agenda items still to cover. Sometimes the tangent is more important than the agenda. Then we recontract. This topic seems more important than item 3. Are we comfortable changing the focus and moving item 3 to another time? One more thing on Rule 5. If 2 people are talking quietly during the main discussion, don't keep the meeting going and don't tell the people off. Stop the meeting and invite the whispered conversation into the main meeting. Remind everyone to keep it as one discussion at a time so that everyone remains across the same conversation points. That is the tool set for Rule 5. 5 conversation tools and 3 steering scripts. Practice them out loud. If the sentence is not in your muscle memory, you'll probably not use it when the meeting starts drifting. Rule 6. Build real alignment, not polite agreement. One dangerous meeting trap is mistaking silence, nodding, and politeness for alignment. Everyone nods, no one objects. The meeting moves on. Then concerns appear in side conversations. People interpret the decision differently. Someone says, I didn't realize what we meant. Someone else says, I didn't want to say anything in the meeting. Ask yourself, do I already know what people really think, or am I hoping they'll tell me in the room? This matters for controversial, sensitive, or political topics. A group meeting is not always the best place to find out what people truly think. Some people will not say it in front of the group. Some will wait to see what the senior person thinks. Some will nod because silence feels safer. This is counterintuitive because the answer may be more meetings, not fewer. But the goal is not fewer meetings at all costs. The goal is to move the needle. It's like buying a lawnmower. Spending $100 on a mower that does not cut grass is not cheaper than spending $300 on one that cuts grass properly. A 30-minute group meeting that creates polite silence and hidden resistance is not more effective than a few individual conversations that reveal the real issues. The cheaper meeting is only cheaper if it actually works. Before a controversial group meeting, ask, is this a topic where people may hold back? Do I need to speak to people in one-on-ones first? Who has concerns that may not come out in the room? Before we bring this to the group, I'm going to speak with a few people individually so I can understand the concerns properly and make the group discussion more useful. In a one-to-one, I'm asking this individually because I want your honest view before this becomes a group conversation. What do you think people may be hesitant to say in the room? The second part is making sure people leave with the same picture. If words can mean things different, draw it, show it, or give an example. One other thing, your presence as a leader helps too. You've got to engage with people in a meeting. Rather than just a scattergun eye contact or looking down, engage with each person. Here's one tool. In a group, use one thought, one person. That's looking at each person as you're giving one message. When you're on video, make sure you have the person's image near the camera. Remove distractions. No tapping, clicking, pens, that sort of thing. So don't be communicating things that are different to your words. So that's the tool set for Rule 6. Individual conversations when the group will not reveal the truth. The lawnmower test. Same picture checks. Definite language and small presence habits. Rule 7. Turn discussion into owned commitments. The final rule is about the end of the meeting and what happens afterwards. A meeting can have a good discussion and still not produce movement. People raise useful points, loosely argue, and then someone says, all right, thanks everyone, and people leave. Later, everyone has a different memory of what was decided, who earned what, and when was it due. That is how meetings create rework. Turn the last 5 minutes into owned commitments. Start concluding 5 to 10 minutes before the end. Say something like, okay, we've got 7 minutes left. I'd like to get everyone out on time. We've covered X, Y, and Z. Is everyone okay if we summarize what we've gone through and confirm who will be doing what from here? Then summarize what was decided, what was heard, what still needs to be resolved, and what happens next. Put the action log on the screen if you have one, or make actions visible while people are still there. A good action has a task, owner, due date, and definition of done. We'll look into it, it's not an action. Sarah will confirm the client impact and send the summary by Thursday is an action. But writing it down is not enough. Actions are not real until they're owned out loud. Say, Sarah, you've got the client impact summary by Thursday. Are you comfortable owning that? Or, James, can you commit to sending that through by 3 p.m. tomorrow? Or, is there anything that would stop you from getting that done by then? The action log is the management tool. The accountability starts when the person verbally accepts the action. AI note takers can help draft summaries and identify possible actions, but someone still needs to review the output. AI can mishear, misunderstand, or capture something discussed but not agreed. The action log should be the source of truth, not the transcript. After the meeting, send the action log or reviewed AI-assisted summary, ideally the same day. For recurring meetings, set this expectation. Please update your actions by 3 p.m. the day before the next meeting. If it is done, mark it done. If it is blocked, note the blocker. If it is going to slip, let us know ahead of time. The behavior standard is completed or communicated. Because sometimes actions can't be done. That happens. Priorities change, people get sick, clients move goalposts. The issue is not that something slipped. The issue is when no one finds out until the next meeting. Say, sometimes we can't get everything done, but it isn't in your control to let us know ahead of time. That way we don't think you just forgot and we can adjust what we need to. Then make sure to finish friendly and positive. Thanks everyone, that gives us clear next steps. I appreciate the focus today. This is the tool set for Rule 7. 5-minute close, visible action log, verbal commitment, reviewed AI summary, updates before the next meeting, and complete it or communicate it. Memory is not a management system. If your team is in meetings all day and still behind, do not just randomly slash the calendar. That may feel good for a week, but it will not fix the real issues if the meetings that remain still do not create clarity, ownership, or follow through. Use the 7 rules as a 7-week meeting reset. Week 1, take back control of your team's calendar. Week 2, put the right issue in the right room. Week 3, prepare the thinking before people arrive. Week 4, set the frame in the first 60 seconds. Week 5, steer the conversation with the right sentence. Week 6, build real alignment, not polite agreement. And week 7, turn discussion into owned commitments. Pick one recurring meeting, pick one rule this week. Apply the tool set, then come back next week and add the next layer. So before you book the next meeting, accept the next meeting invitation, or walk into a room just because it's in the calendar, ask, what is this meeting meant to move? If it is not driving anything, change it, shorten it, redesign it, move it to the right room, turn it into an email, make it a 15-minute stand-up conversation, or spend more time in the right conversations. That is what will actually get the result. Because the goal is not to spend the day talking about work. The goal is to make work clearer, faster, and better. And that is what meetings are for. Leadership doesn't grow by accident. It grows because you choose to work on it. Thanks for making the time today. I'm Tommy Sim, and this is Lead to Grow. New episodes come out regularly. I hope to see you again soon.